Let's do this.
Yo, what is going on, you guys? This is Gaming with Sal. Welcome back to the channel. So, it is no secret that when it comes down to Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, that the multiplayer is something that fans really want to see come to life. We got Modern Warfare 2 Campaign Remastered, but of course that wasn't enough. We want the multiplayer, including myself, and it would be really amazing to see something like that come to life. But at the same time, I do want to go ahead and also put out this thought that I had for today's video, and that is, what if they went ahead and released Modern Warfare 2 Campaign Remastered at the wrong time? And instead, what if they should have waited to release the game in its entirety later on in this year instead? Now, before you guys go ahead and go in the comment section below and say that I'm wrong for saying something like this, trust me, I actually have a couple of different things I want to go ahead and discuss with you guys about why I feel like that it would be more beneficial for Infinity Ward and Activision to release Modern Warfare 2 Remastered later on versus right now. So let's go ahead and get into those reasons. So the first thing I want to go ahead and talk about is what Activision actually had to say in regards to the multiplayer for Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. And if you guys didn't know, yes, they actually did go ahead and make a statement in regards to this topic. And what they basically went ahead and said is that when it comes down to Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, that they decided not to go ahead and remaster the multiplayer experience because they did not want to split the player base. And what they're basically talking about is having some people play Modern Warfare 2 Multiplayer Remastered and then have barely anyone on Warzone or the regular Modern Warfare 2019 multiplayer. Basically, we would just have a bunch of Call of Duty players scattered throughout 3 or 4 different experiences going on at the same exact time. And that's something that they did not want. They wanted us to be able to focus on one, quote, multiplayer player ground, which I understand where they're coming from, but at the same time, Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer experience is such a treasure to leave behind. Like, they would be losing a huge opportunity by deciding not to remaster this multiplayer experience. I mean, have you guys even seen the hype for Modern Warfare 2 online right now? Everywhere I look on Twitter, people are talking about Modern Warfare 2 Remastered and just having a multiplayer for it. And then there's people out there who apparently work within Activision who are also teasing the game in certain ways, and every single time they do this, people are already commenting on their posts asking about Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer information and just wanting to know more about this rumor, I guess. So at the end of the day, Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer experience needs to be remastered, and if they don't do it, that's just a lot of money lost for Activision and a lot of disappointed fans within the Call of Duty community. But here's the thing, right? This all could have been avoided if they just decided to keep Modern Warfare 2 Campaign Remastered a secret and continuously test and work on the multiplayer and release Modern Warfare 2 Remastered in its entirety later on the year as Call of Duty 2020. Now, the reason why I'm saying that Modern Warfare 2 Remastered should have been Call of Duty 2020 is because, let's be honest, when it comes down to the actual Call of Duty 2020, which is the title that Treyarch is working on right now, it's probably in a mess. I mean, I hope it's not. I hope it's actually a fun experience, and I hope that I'm wrong when I say this, but I really do think that they're in trouble right now because, one, when it comes down to Call of Duty 2020, the original Call of Duty 2020, by the way, it was supposed to be worked on by Sledgehammer Games and Raven Software, but what happened was that these two developing studios were constantly arguing, and it just seemed like that they were falling behind on schedule. So what did Activision do? They went ahead and called up Treyarch and told Treyarch that, hey, you're going to be in charge of Call of Duty 2020 now, which I'm pretty sure Treyarch was completely thrown off guard by that, and they had to ditch Black Ops 4, which is why Black Ops 4 actually couldn't become a 3-year game like they intended it to be, and they had to immediately get to work on Call of Duty 2020, which right now is rumored to be a Black Ops reboot set in the Vietnam era. Now, this all sounds pretty cool and everything, right? That, okay, cool, you know, Treyarch is coming back earlier than expected, and they're going to be releasing a Black Ops reboot, sort of like how Infinity Ward did with the Modern Warfare reboot. But at the same time, we got to think about how much time they actually had to make this game. I mean, there could be some stuff that Raven Software and Sledgehammer Games worked on that they could use as leftover assets, but at the same time, we don't know how much they had to scrap and start all over, and they had a shorter time frame than usual with the new 3-year development lifecycle that Call of Duty had after Sledgehammer Games joined the rotating developing studios. And then to make matters worse, we have this epidemic or pandemic that's going on right now in the world. Not going to say the name of it because I'm going to get demonetized, but you guys know what I'm talking about. So that has caused people to work at home, including people at Treyarch, I believe, and because of that, they are probably falling even more behind on development for this game. So with the story, the the tragic story, by the way, of Call of Duty 2020 that's going around right now. And assuming that it's true, why are we still expecting these developing studios that are working on this title to still release this game in 2020? It just makes no sense whatsoever. If anything, we should be giving them a break. But let's be honest, when it comes down to Activision, they don't want to go on a break in regards to their Call of Duty franchise. They want to release a Call of Duty title every single year, no matter what happens. So why not actually go ahead and take Call of Duty 2020, which is the title that Treyarch is working on, and make that Call of Duty 2021, the year Treyarch was supposed to release a game anyways. So there you go, that problem is solved, right? But what about Call of Duty 2020 that isn't there anymore? Well, we can replace the original Call of Duty 2020 that Treyarch was working on with Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. And during this time, we could have released Modern Warfare 2 Remastered with the campaign, with the multiplayer experience, and even possibly the Spec Ops. Basically, like I said, release Modern Warfare 2 Remastered in its entirety, because according to leaks, the multiplayer was also done years ago with the campaign. There are actually concept arts that you can find in the museum after the campaign is completed, by the way, in which they said that these concept arts for this game was completed all the way back in 2016 and even 2017. So the rumors are looking like they are true, where Modern Warfare 2 Remastered was done years ago and Activision was just sort of waiting to release it at the right time. But to them, was that right time really April 2020? Because I mean, yeah, Modern Warfare 2019's multiplayer isn't getting the love that they probably expected it to, but Warzone is. Warzone dropped like 2 weeks before Modern Warfare 2 Campaign Remastered did. And even if they did go ahead and decide that they would drop Modern Warfare 2 Campaign Remastered for whatever reason, what was the idea behind it? Like, it makes no sense. Warzone was already popping. And yeah, even though Modern Warfare 2019's multiplayer experience wasn't loved that much, it's not like it was being completely abandoned like Infinite Warfare. So I don't understand the logic of needing to drop something like Modern Warfare 2 Campaign Remastered. If anything, it just makes so much more sense to release the entire remastered experience with all three modes as Call of Duty 2020. And trust me, you guys, I know that you probably don't want this, but when it comes down to something like Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, they were going to monetize it no matter what, whether it was going to be supply drops, a battle pass, you name it, because they already did that with Modern Warfare Remastered, and you already know Activision. As soon as they discover this new microtransaction formula that actually works, they're not going to leave Modern Warfare 2 Remastered alone. So let's just face the facts. There was going to be some sort of monetization in the game. And honestly, another thing that Activision also went ahead and said, according to leaks and rumors, by the way, is that not only would having multiple multiplayer experiences split the player base, if they were to go ahead and try to monetize these different games, that it would be too much for the player base. And in the end, no one would be spending any money towards their games, which once again does make sense. So why not, like I said, push Modern Warfare 2 Remastered as Call of Duty 2020 and release it later down the year with its own battle pass possibly, or maybe the collection system like we saw back in Modern Warfare Remastered, and then be able to monetize off of that game as well. And then eventually you could even add the Spec Ops down the line and let developers work on the Spec Ops in the meantime and add it as like a DLC bonus. And what would be even cool is that with the technology that we have, what if we could even make the Spec Ops a co-op experience for all the missions? I mean, that would be so amazing, and that would be an experience that would be good enough for us to be able to play until Call of Duty 2021, which would be the title that Treyarch works on, would release. And even they would have enough time to polish the game up and work on it to make it a good experience, rather than being rushed because of all the unfortunate circumstances that they're facing, and then having another game come out that puts a sour taste in the Call of Duty community's mouth. I don't know, you guys. With my way of thinking right now, it just made no sense for them to drop Modern Warfare 2 Campaign Remastered right now. And as much as I enjoyed playing through the game and just the experience that I've had with it and the nostalgia that I went through playing the game, I would have rather seen it come out later on in the year and be treated as Call of Duty 2020. They were putting it on the shelves, waiting for it to be released at the right time anyways. This is the right time, and I can't believe that they're ruining this game by taking the Modern Warfare 2 experience from the multiplayer and just ripping it apart and putting it into Modern Warfare 2019 instead. I don't know how much of all this is true, you guys. There are still rumors going on about how Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer is currently being tested and possibly is going to be coming out later on. So at the end of the day, I don't know what's true. Of course, this whole entire video was based off of hypothetical situations, but at the end of the day, I really do hope that the multiplayer is in the works and that it will be coming later on, because I feel like that is something that the Call of Duty community would enjoy, rather than a rushed title that was put together by 3 developing studios who just had to think of something at the last minute. I don't know, that's just my way of thinking. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys actually agree with me. Do you feel like that when it comes down to this game that it should have been delayed and should have released as Call of Duty 2020? Or do you think that what they're doing right now is actually reasonable and is a smart plan? Like I said, I would love to hear what you guys think in the comment section below. But with that said, that's pretty much all I have for you guys in today's video. So if you guys enjoyed it, please go ahead and leave a like, comment, subscribe, click the bell icon so you'll never miss an upload, and follow me on my social media accounts to stay connected. Links will always be in the description below, and I will go ahead and talk to you guys in the next one. So take care of yourselves, and bye.